This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
It is time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, and live here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. Ready to get geeky with you all tonight. And we got a heck of a crew with us. First of all, from the Big D, Dornemont, PA, he is a gadget guru at Big Bank International Esquire. I feel like finger quotes is appropriate. I don't know why I haven't done that. That seems like the right way to go. How you doing, Chilla?
Because that's not a real thing.
Yes. So we say it ironically, don't we?
It's a real place, I promise.
It's a
I'm
real
doing pretty
place.
good. How are you?
Very well, sir. Been getting my gaming in this weekend, as I'm sure we'll talk about here for sure. It's going to be a big gaming episode, I think, all around, and not to mention for our guests, but also the one that keeps us in our Animal Crossing updates. The Dudders is with us.
Hello. I am definitely keeping up with my Animal Crossing updates, and I'll have some for today. Super excited.
Fantastic. And also, first time on the show, a little bit of a crossover. He's a friend of the Wrestling Mayhem show. You can also check him out. Recent matches, just obliterating people over on Fight Underground, amongst other promotions. Professional wrestler, the Bronomaly Brohemoth is on the line with us. How you doing, bro?
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, because I get to show my other side.
Well, I mean, this is of course, Brohemoth is kind of defined as kind of a video game character kind of come to life, or at least a boss battle, I guess.
Always.
So glad to have you on. It's made so much sense, and I don't know why we haven't done this beforehand. But glad to have you on the show. You guys, thank you for being watching the show, listening to the show, wherever you might be doing that. Please hit up everything at awesomecast.com. Hit us an email at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at awesomecast. Check out the AwesomeCast Facebook page and group. And, of course, the AwesomeCast is on all your social media, including Instagram. So please follow us there and on Twitter, like I said. And subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast player. Ask to play us on your Amazon Echo device, on your Google what do we call it now? Is it Nest device?
I believe it's called a Google Nest.
I'm just going to call it your Google thing. So tell your Google thing to play us. And, of course, we're here live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Facebook Live for AwesomeCast, as well as on AwesomeCast Twitter, on the YouTube page, and on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. So whichever is more convenient for you, whichever app you live in, we live there too, and you can watch us there live, cast it to your TV, your Roku, your Apple TV, however that works best for you. So a lot of those options are available, and you can join us in the chat room, especially on the AwesomeCast Facebook page as well. I forgot to mention the Facebook group for the AwesomeCast, where we do share a lot of the stories throughout the week with some interesting takes on some ear devices that were just announced. But anyways, also thank you to our audio partners, our friends at the 405media.com and at postindustrial.com, helping share the AwesomeCast with their audiences. Thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast, our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and John Carmen, our friends at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill, the great podcast, and Dave Podner, sorry. I about mixed you with Michael's name, which turns into another person that I know, actually. But you guys can support the show, too, at patreon.com/awesomecast. Thank you, everybody that is supporting the show that way. It does help us pay the bills for the hosting and things for this podcast to make sure we can still bring it to you here. Let's get into our awesome thing of the week, and I'm going to start with the non-video game thing Just to get it out of the way. But Chilla and Chilla, you're the one that didn't bring the video game thing. Like you're like usually Mr. Video Game on this show. He's muted. Is he muted?
Yeah, I'm muted.
He's back.
I need to get
He's
over this
back.
whole mute thing. No, so oddly enough, my video game thing is now receiving objects. But no, I didn't do a video game thing because I have a catch-up video game thing for the end of the show.
A pretty big one. But what you
Oh,
got
and I
here?
almost forgot about the cliffhanger we left last week. I got to find that article too.
Anyways, what is your awesome thing?
So my awesome thing is, as of last night, Apple Music is now available on those Google Nest whatever devices,
Your Google,
including
on your Google thing.
on your Google thing.
Mhm.
Interestingly enough, in Google fashion, it is a slow rollout, but over time, people will be able to go into the Google Home app on their iOS or Android-based device. They will be able to go into settings and add music, and in the music settings, you will be able to see Apple Music. As part of that, you'll then be able to say, okay, you know who, and play whatever, and it will play from Apple Music. You can set up multiple accounts. Like I have my Pandora account linked up there right now. I just have free Pandora. And if you just say, hey, play whatever, it picks your default, or you can say, hey, play whatever on Apple Music. I'll probably set up Apple Music as my default, and I actually have the what is the 5-inch or whatever display. So I'm really looking forward to this, because for the longest time I've actually been Bluetooth tethering to the thing to stream audio to it. But this will be just as nice as all of the other A-Train based devices in the house that are already hooked up to Google Music.
That's kind of nice, and that's been one of the big reasons why I've kind of been iffy on this the Apple One, and then subscribing to YouTube Music, because it's like, well, I'm on the Google thing. That's the thing I can yell at and play something, right? But that does change the game a little bit for it. So.
Yeah, and I like it because I'll tell you what, out of all of the screen-based devices that I have, I will say the Google display, I think, is the nicest display to work with over I have the A-Train Show 5.
We can say Echo. We're allowed to say Echo, I think.
Oh, yeah, the Echo.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Echo Show 5, I'm not a huge fan of the UI, and it's kind of awkward. Whereas the Google-based device, I walk into the room, it kind of lights up on its own because it has a motion sensor, but it doesn't have a camera. It has like a light sensor, but it picks up on the fact that someone's kind of walking near it, and it will switch the display. It'll show you, like, here's some of the most used smart home things you do. Here's music. Here's the notes, and it kind of, I don't know, the UI and the way it works to me is just way nicer from a touchscreen perspective. I feel like theirs is just as much touch and screen as it is voice command, where I think I view the Echo-based devices, I'm going to splash up things that you might be interested in, but probably aren't, like recipes on, I don't know, I've seen some random recipes. Today it was play videos of motocross. I don't know, the Echo-based device just doesn't know me at all.
Just doesn't get you, man.
It just doesn't understand me.
Which was the Google device that you were mentioning? The screen.
I have like the Nest. Well, it used to be called wasn't the Google Home. The 5, is it the 5-inch model? Google.
So the 5-inch one. I guess they don't have any more fancy names than that. It's just like the 5-inch one.
Yeah, I don't know what. It was the Nest Hub. Oh, sorry, mine's the Nest Hub 7-inch.
Okay.
So they switched from, I think, Google Hub to Nest Hub not too long ago. It's the same device from what I can tell. But I don't know. I think the device is really great, and I don't get nervous having it in the bedroom because it doesn't have a camera.
There you go.
And I keep the shutter on my Echo device closed.
Nice. No, that's good to know. So I haven't really dived into the screen idea, but good to see Apple connected to something like that, especially as people, like I said, as people are kind of looking at this Apple One idea and like, oh, I guess I get music with it. So I feel too ingrained in YouTube music right now, and I like no ads on YouTube because sometimes I use YouTube without a login and realize how many ads. How do you guys watch that? Holy hell. It gets bad. Let's go with Katie. What's your awesome thing of the week? Is she muted?
I pulled a Chilla. This mute button's giving us problems. So Animal Crossing released a new video today, an update video, and it talks a little bit more about what we're getting in December. Leading up to December 24th is Toy Day on Animal Crossing.
I love these I love these non-denominational holidays that they have going on here.
Turkey Day, Toy Day. Like just any. We'll have Love Day, I'm sure, and just keep going along the lines like that. But they released a new video. I love how the new update video starts out with the new animals and bugs. And one of the new bugs that you can catch now is a dung beetle. Who hasn't wanted to catch a dung beetle in their lifetime? But yeah, it's one of the new animals that you can catch, or bugs you can catch on the game. But Toy Day looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be getting snow on the game. I haven't seen it yet. My niece has seen flurries, but I haven't seen actual snow on my island yet. But you're supposed to be able to build snowmen, and you're also able to you shake the trees and you'll get some ornaments that follow the trees, and then you use those ornaments that follow the trees for recipes to build Christmas tree displays, and it's obviously Christmas trees. Toy Day trees, I guess. Yeah, and then you'll be able to, on Toy Day, give your neighbors toys that they want. So they've added a handful of fun toys to your Nook's shop, or your Nook's cranny. There's a dinosaur toy, there's a dollhouse, kids tent, like RC cars, and whenever you actually touch the toy, they race around the track. There's I think the coolest thing I've seen as far as things you can get on Animal Crossing, the RC helicopter, where if you push the button, the helicopter will rise a little bit, then it'll go up way high, and then it'll come back down. So it's like the most activity we've gotten out of something on Animal Crossing. An item.
That is, everything is kind of self-contained, isn't it? Like it's just like you're moving around a lot of static objects in this game.
Mm-hmm. So here, bounce this ball. That's the extent of what it is. And but yeah, so many things that you look like you should be able to play, you can't actually play with.
What was the big one over the summer? Was swimming a big deal when they put that out?
Yeah, swimming ended up being a big deal, and you can still swim and dive and get various things living under the sea. But yeah, that ended up being much cooler than the other things we could play with so far.
Absolutely. So it is the Animal Crossing Toy Day update, and I guess what the that's going to be rolling out here in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yep, we'll have Toy Day snow in real life and on the game. No more escaping the weather on your beautiful island.
Yeah. I still barely leave the neighborhood. So
yeah.
Thank you, neighbors, for putting up lights and stuff. The Saga.
There's been so many.
Good.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say there's so many more lights this year. I love it.
It's definitely in my neighborhood. The Saga. Plus, we have a couple new families that have moved in this year, so I don't know what their Christmas behavior is. But there's somebody like lit their bush on like the side of like on the side of the street where like cars actually isn't the one way, isn't the dead end. There's a snowman that blows up across the street that sometimes gets stuck on the gas meter behind it, and it just looks like it's been beheaded sometimes, and that's concerning. But I don't have a crazy that I'm aware of. I don't have a crazy screaming Will Ferrell elf across the street looking right at me when I walk out of the house yet. I think that was a different family. I'm pretty sure that was a different family. But anyways, Not fun there. So my update is last month there was Gears 5. I think Gears 5 has been out for a while. Gears of War. I never really jumped into it because I technically am on Gears of War 2 as far as playing through the stories and just never really caught up. So I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna pick up the new one for all this stuff. They announced not long ago, and I think it was like mid-November. They announced this, and I'm not sure entirely when it rolled out, but they this is a wrestling thing, guys. But the New Day, a fantastic team in WWE. And the ones that do Xavier Woods of this actually does the fantastic Up Down Down video game channel, which is a lot of pro wrestlers playing video games from WWE. I recommend the Uno sessions, by the way. They get pretty good. But anyways, they were put into the game as playable characters in the multiplayer. And I was like, oh, I don't know if it went up. And then I realized as I'm poking through Xbox Game Pass, one, you get Gears 5. You got all the Gears of War games are a part of that as part of the package. But I didn't realize, and I never really poked too much at the perks because they're usually like, hey, here's some stuff for Phantasy Star Online. Hey, here's some stuff for Smite. Here's some stuff for these just online like freemium games that I'm just not going to, like RPGs and stuff I'm just not going to get into. This month, they included the New Day as part of this, including I think some other extras as well. That wasn't just them. So I jumped into Gears of War multiplayer. Never really played much of Gears of War multiplayer. Loving Gears of War multiplayer. So if you're not familiar, Gears is like more than just it's actually a third-person shooter, and there's a lot of kind of you get to hide behind, like duck behind and shoot around corners. And your gun has a chainsaw. I think that pretty much sums it up, right, bro?
Lancers, shotgun. It's pretty visceral. Like I'm looking forward to reckon with. Oh, can we do that for a Sorg game day? Play some Gears.
Yeah,
because I have Gears 5.
Yeah, you got Gears 5. Anybody on Game Pass? We can get together and do that sometime, and we'll probably all play as the New Day. I can't do the Batista thing because they also did a thing where they replaced the main character with Dave Batista.
Yeah, Batista's now Marcus Phoenix.
But I think you need the new series, like the X series, the Series X, Series S consoles in order for that to work.
I'm not touching those for at least another year and a half.
Yeah, me neither. But still, it's like, okay, it's there. Like, down the line. Hey, by the time I get through the other Gears games, I probably will have the newer console and be able to play as Batista. So, but I don't know. They're doing some cool things there. And again, I guess kind of another hey, I just found myself playing a lot of extra stuff on Game Pass. Also related, they also added a bunch of people to WWE Battlegrounds. So I've been playing as Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. I spent like 3 hours trying to get enough in-game cash to because I'm not putting any more money down on this thing, to get them unlocked with all their outfits and stuff. So that's been my playthroughs this weekend. A lot of multiplayer, a lot of jumping in multiplayer games. Also Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is just amazing, and it gets more fun the more I play it. So, bro, you also in bro style have a video game awesome thing of the week. What have you been playing?
I've mainly been bouncing between the Monster Hunter Iceborne DLC and the new expansion of World of Warcraft. And after 200 and I think it was like 37 hours, I have finally finished the Iceborne DLC.
Wait, did you say 200?
I have invested well over two. Oh, I had like 199 hours when I started Iceborne.
As the coronavirus lockdown has been nice to you.
Oh, I would say I spent a good 6 hours hunting one monster because he was such an asshole. But like, that's besides the point. Because it's like this giant reindeer T-Rex. Strangest combination, because like he has these giant horns that like he'll dig into the ground and pull up just a big hunk of ground and then slam it right on top of you.
So this is Monster. For those unfamiliar, Monster Hunter is kind of I jumped into it briefly. I don't know, it popped up on Game Pass or something for a moment, and it seems like it's one of those kind of World of Warcraft-esque games, but you're hunting monsters, right?
Yeah, it's like for a while, it's like an open world, and like I've been playing Monster Hunter since the second one, and I believe World is the fifth or sixth entry overall. And to see it go from being like there's these random areas to like it being like a lush environment that like interacts with you depending on what's in the area, what's like, because like there are certain monsters you can run into where like two monsters run into each other and they'll just start all out brawling all over the area. Seeing a giant T-Rex body slam a dragon out of the sky has probably been one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a game.
And we're pulling that up on the video for you guys here. Yeah, this really, I know there's we talked a little bit off air about the movie, and I guess there's some controversy around that in China, but like this is, I mean, it's gotten big enough to get its own movie, I guess. Although I think I think Mila Jovovich is just optioning everything out of Capcom these days.
I'm just waiting to see how the Palicos look in the movie, because like every hunter gets a little humanoid cat person to hunt alongside them, and they're like the coolest, because like each monster you kill, you can turn them into like weapons and gear, and some of the outfits that you can get as armor for your cat make your cat look even cooler.
Wait a minute, so you get stuff out of them? Like, is it like Mega Man where I get the power of the the robot that I beat?
Yes and no. Like some monsters you'll have to hunt like a few times to harvest all the pieces you need to make said like armor and weapons. But like each set will give you like certain abilities, certain extra skills. It gets very intricate, but like I've been into this game series forever.
And I see that they did put the actress from the movie into the game.
Oh boy! That's probably the new patch. I haven't watched the video yet, but I got a notification on my YouTube. The Monster Hunter dropped a new event video.
Yeah. Oh, it just came out on the 4th. But got to get on that. So.
Oh, like I said, I've been bouncing between that and World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft just launched Season 1 today, so I'm probably pulling an all-nighter.
I like that between all of this, we've kind of found our sweet spot in our video game therapy during all this, through the course of it. Chilla, you seem to live in Spider-Man land.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man lasted me, because I don't have that much time to play.
No.
But Spider-Man lasted me over a year. And I completed all the downloadable content. And I still go back and play on occasion.
Yeah.
Because there's some things I haven't completed. I'm interested in the Miles Morales stuff, but I don't think I'm buying a PlayStation 5 just for that.
Yeah.
And I'll say I recently picked up Avengers.
I wanted to play that, but I've heard so many bad things about it. It makes me like glad I didn't invest into it.
It is glitchy, but I will say it's very like, it's much like Spider-Man. I don't mind the storyline, but and the gameplay is pretty fun. But I will say I'm glad I didn't get it at launch, because I've read a lot about like a lot of patches have come out because of the glitches, and I will say there are times where I've spawned in and I can't do anything because I'm 4 feet underground and I can't get up.
So
Square made the Avengers game, didn't they? Square Enix?
Yeah, and they didn't even recoup their money yet, so I'm guessing.
So
I'm shocked, because usually they don't they haven't really done a bad game in a while.
So I'm not, as we've mentioned, I'm not one to get a lot of day one games. Like, again, Battleground was the first one, and oh boy did I find glitches in that game. So whenever, I've been going through like all the Assassin's Creed games, and I actually just started Odyssey this past weekend as well. I'll go back and watch like the IGN review of it before I go play it. Just kind of get an idea of what I'm getting into. I'm really just playing because I'm like, oh, it's the next Assassin's Creed, let's go. And I kind of interesting, especially when you got into like Unity Syndicate. Like they talk about the glitches a lot, and then I realize like I am multiple patches beyond by the time I get to those games. So I don't really get to see a lot of that kind of stuff. But I guess that's kind of a day one thing.
I just picked up Avengers on the Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
So,
It,
like I said, there's been some glitches, but it's not.
unless it's something
not as day
where
one.
I need to get in day one to get into the multiplayer, like a Call of Duty felt like it was like that when I was playing that regularly. Like, and we're talking Black Ops 2 era, like Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2 kind of eras, right? So it's kind of interesting that, you know, nothing else. I feel it's like Apple things. Like, don't get the first generation. Like, give it a second, guys. You know, just like I still haven't downloaded the new Mac OS, but. Well, you know, something that you can buy day of, and actually I suggest it because then it'll be still hot, is our friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza here in the Pittsburgh area, right up the street next to the wonderfully lit Tim's Corner. You know, it's actually perfect that they opened that thing in the fall winter, because it's like, you notice it more because it's dark early. So, but no, it's doing great things there with pizza and amazingness. So go check them out. 3 locations: Beachview, Carnegie, East End here in the Pittsburgh area, and let them know that the AwesomeCast sent you. Thank you to them for supporting the show. And speaking of supporting the show, thank you everybody out there that supports the show and hangs out in our AwesomeCast Facebook group. We had a couple of stories from there, and first of all, hey, a follow-up, because we've been talking about the Fitness Plus on Apple, right? And Podner had the update. I think this is the first that they've released the pricing for this. So officially, if you're not doing the Apple One, I saw Chilla, you said that you're leaning towards the Apple One Family Edition. I think I am as well, just to take care of everybody, right? But if you just want to do Fitness Plus by itself, remember, this is the it links with your, like, you know, your fitness situation with your watch and stuff, and just across all your devices. It is going to be $10, $9.99 per month, or $79.99 per year. So, and that includes all the, you know, virtual classes and things like that, shared among 6 family members. So you do have your sharing, and that's big for the Apple Watch users in your household too. And let's see, 3 months included for, hold on a second, the thing cut off over here. So Chilla, I knowing that this is a $10 a month thing, that kind of makes that pricing for the Apple One seem a little more fitting, correct?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to that top tier for Apple One. I'm going to the middle tier. I'm mainly doing it for the iCloud space, the family Apple Music, and arcade. Because I'm already playing. I'm already paying for music. I want to upgrade that to a family plan. I'm already paying for arcade, and I'll be paying for TV come February.
Unless they punt that back again, depending on how things are going.
Yeah, depending on how things are going. But I think as that catalog gets bigger, I'm surprised. I'm hearing like other people talk about, oh, you got to watch this on Apple TV. So I'm already paying. So I will be paying for TV. I'm already paying for single person music that I want to upgrade to family. I already pay for arcade that's family out of the box, and I wanted to get more space. So it only makes sense to just go Apple One with that mid tier. Like I said, no fitness, no news for me. But it just makes practical cost sense.
Like I said, for me, it's mostly between TV, arcade, and our iCloud plans that I'm like almost to that mark for the big one anyway. So I don't know, it's good that there's options, and good that we're getting more details on Fitness Plus, because that's the big new one. I'm curious to see how it goes, like how long they kind of stay with it too. Other Apple news today: headphones, over the ear headphones, apparently. I believe Amanda actually shared this one too, and good to point out. This was fantastic. Good to point out that when they're in the thing, they look like a bra when they're in their charger. was pointed out on our Facebook page, I believe by I don't know, Amanda or Dave, I think. So what do you know about these Chilla?
I don't know anything. I saw it towards the end of the day that there was an announcement about it. And the only reason I saw it was because I was looking to see. I heard there was the potential for them to announce, they were going to announce something else today. I can't remember what it was now. It may have been like their tile competitor, and I went looking for that and found these.
Apple tags.
They're just way too pricey for me.
How much are these going for here?
I think 500 and something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're nowhere near.
Do they give you like telekinesis for that price? Like, jeez. $500, they better shoot lasers.
Hit the buy button and make sure I'm not wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna hit the buy button.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, don't go through.
$525 or something?
$549 or $91 a month.
Oh, geez, that's it.
They have payment plans for the overly expensive headset.
They don't come with an audio cable or a charger brick either.
But you want me to pay $549 for it?
Okay, listen, I figured it out. So the noise canceling doesn't just like impact what you're hearing. It literally has lasers that zap the things making the noise around you to cancel out the noise.
Do you
It
want?
better turn it into Iron Man. It better give me a whole Iron Man suit for that much money. Like,
I want it to be able to read other people's minds.
Do you want to live in an audio distortion field? Because that's what you could do here. So, holy crap! I'm getting a little echo over there. I'm not sure where it's coming from. So just a heads up. But anyways, man. Okay, listen, we haven't had a super Apple device like this for a while. By the way, you can add engraving for free. So
I gave my arm and my leg. That's what my engraving is gonna say. I gave an arm and a leg for this.
I sold a kidney for this. However you want to do it. Oh, you have emoticons for this that you could put on there. Oh, let's see. I can put the little robot on there. Let's see. I can be
Is there a pair of headphone? Is there a headphone emoticon that you can put on your headphones?
I can put a snake on it apparently. Let's see. They do block swear words. Okay, good to know. Okay. So
what you're saying is I can pay $550 for my headphones, and I'm still not allowed to get them engraved with swear words.
Apparently not. But I can use all the emoticons I want to.
Oh wait, the middle finger one.
Is it in there?
I don't know. I'm assuming. It should be.
No, this looks
at least for Chilla.
This looks kind of limited here. I don't know. They have like numbers. They have like I don't know. They have the poop. You can put your poop on it.
This poop emoji cost me.
Yes.
A poop load of.
This was
money.
A poop load of money. Wow. Let's see here. So from that, what stories you guys want to pick out here? We'll chill. We'll hold yours until the end there. Katie, what do you want to hit on here?
I thought this. So there's a Nielsen story.
Mm-hmm.
If you're familiar with Nielsen Ratings,
it's still around.
That's something they determine. Yeah, still a thing. Not definitely taking their time to adapt to the new landscape of movie and television and media consumption, because they're working on incorporating information from screening from your phone and your other devices that aren't TV viewing like at that time. Like a lot of people, most of us aren't watching shows as they happen anymore. So they're working towards creating a system to combine all of this information within a certain time period. If you view it on your device, it'll count towards the show's Nielsen rating. But they're getting stuff together, but this all isn't going to be ready till 2024. Like, they don't think they're going to have the complete resurfacing or I don't know, getting this whole thing together until the fall of 2024.
It seems like they need to, because are they? Am I? I'm under the impression they're looking at like isn't there a component of this of like if a television show is on, there's kind of a detecting of like I'm looking at my phone while the TV's on kind of thing to see the interaction points. Is that something that I've? Is that just a Nielsen fever dream I had?
I didn't see that part. That doesn't mean that it wasn't a thing because
Mhm.
they're putting so much like random stuff into this thing
Mm-hmm.
to try to like based upon this information because it's going to have a huge impact on where advertisers are spending their money and how much stations can charge and shows can charge for their advertising hours, their time.
On one of the many other podcasts, somebody made an excellent point of remember Nielsen is a data company. Like
Yeah.
the TV ratings are not its only bread and butter. It's a data company, and it will continue to adapt to how do we deal with data and take in data. And I'm curious, as we talk about it taking on mobile devices, is this something where they start kind of baking into things like YouTube? They start just kind of, partnering or just kind of scraping things off of YouTube as far as views? And I'm sure it's more than just looking at YouTube or something like that. But or is it something where like you used to get the little booklet to say what you watched as a Nielsen family, quote unquote, just like Big Band. Maybe you download this app and it listens to your screen time part of your iPhone or something like that, or can interact with your other apps. I mean, a huge privacy thing. Holy crap! But ideally, you would buy into that basically, and it's not just something they're doing. I would hope at that point, but but who knows? Who knows? You just need to throw
and
it in.
you're just going to scrim through the permissions anyways. So you'll be like, sure, you can have access. Well, it needs my speaker so I can tell it what show I'm watching.
Yeah.
Oh, you need access to this because then I can improve my experience. You kind of have to figure out like what are they going to give people in exchange for their data? Like what's the currency that Nielsen's going to give us, the consumer?
And then does this turn into like obviously like TV based ones like our YouTube TV or Hulu TV? But are we talking about like I believe Dave Potter's alluding to in the chat room, maybe like a WWE Network and these kind of alternative ones to see what they're going. But then again, they have their own stats, right? I don't, it's kind of like what is your angle there? Like Facebook has their own stats. Why would they buy into something like this? And officially, I guess. So I don't know what that is. But good to see them adapting. What else we got here? Big news. We were talking about again before the show. There is a big gaming award tonight, the Game Awards. We got creative with that, didn't we? So that's a big event tonight. I don't know if that is a streaming event or is that on like a TV network or something like that. I'm not familiar with it. But it was announced, and maybe you'll know what the more about this or what the Game Pass announcement was that's been teased. There's some big Game Pass announcement for the holidays was supposed to be going down tonight along with this. But the Game Awards we talked about before. Publishers receiving demos of games via. I can't remember if it was Nvidia GeForce, but it was like a streaming. It was a stream. I think it might have been GeForce actually.
It was GeForce.
It was GeForce. So they would send them like basically access on their account to go like say play the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla because they're not going to E3 or the Game Development Expo or anything to do that, or they can't do in persons where it's like we're not sending them a disc in advance kind of thing. But you can limit access to that person, right? Well, now that they're opening that up a little bit, and they're actually going to allow you to stream exclusive demos through NVIDIA GeForce Now. We don't know what they are or anything like that, and also don't know if this is just for people that pay for the service. I pay $5 a month to be able to do this, and that's I pay $5 a month to be able to play my Steam and Epic games that that are in my catalog, basically, right? That I've already purchased or they're freebies or whatever the case may be. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. If they kind of introduce me, I think it'd be cool if they just kind of introduce it as a free option to get you into the service, maybe. But what do you think about that? 'Cause, I mean, isn't the biggest thing like that's one thing that made me stop for a second when getting the trial for, like, say, Star Wars Squadrons, because it's like still a 40 gigabyte download in order to do that, right? Or 10 gigabyte download. Like, there's still a little bit of a time investment, and that's a little faster or not for depending on what we're on. But if you're streaming, that's just like you click a button and you're there, right? Right, Chilla, bro? You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like the bigger the size does seem to make streaming a pain. Because I recently tried to play the Control Switch Edition,
Mm-hmm.
which is literally them just streaming a section of Control for you. It like literally, I got 5 minutes in, first cutscene. They were like, "Okay, this is the end of the trial.
No,
Pay up."
So that's the trial itself. So yeah, but then it's like, but you had to sit there and download that, right? Before you got to it. They're not streaming like the GeForce Now. Bro, are you familiar with GeForce Now? How it's like a streaming thing, like with xCloud and things like that?
The only experience I have with GeForce is I have the GeForce experience, which controls my graphics card in my desktop.
Right. So okay, so GeForce Now is you're familiar with xCloud, which is like Microsoft's like streaming service for video games, right? It's one of those. Like, you're playing the game on a server somewhere else in Nvidia,
And they're just streaming. But
right. So
I'm guess you got to download a chunk of that before they let you
Nope.
stream it.
No. It comes over like a video file, dude. Like,
that's great.
It's like Stadia. It's like xCloud. It's just you go and you sync in with it. I can play it on my phone actually now because they just released that kind of stuff for it. You know, again, just like streaming video or something like that. So it's, again, just like, you know, you're not even thinking about it. You know, I'm not sitting there like, okay, have I filled this terabyte or half a terabyte on my Xbox? You know, kind of situation.
Or do I want to play tonight? Like, there's weekends where, like, Thursday night I come down before bed and like just make sure all the games have updated, or a new game. Like, I've already started the download on the games, because there has been nights where I go to play and it's like, okay, it's been updating for an hour.
Yeah.
Or the worst was, like, we had a power outage, so all the systems were off, and I went to play SpiderMan, and I had to wait through like a PlayStation update and a SpiderMan update, and it was literally like over an hour later.
Yeah. It was like every time I sat down. By the way, Chilla, double check your audio settings. I think you might be on a different mic. Mic kicked over, but you know, every time I went to play Fortnite, I had to download like 6 gigs on my phone. So versus GeForce, it's going to be automatically the updated version of it. So
yeah, I've had that issue where I've had to clear like 8 or 9 games to fix an update, because GTA Online is killer on my hard drive.
PUBG. There was a perk for Game Pass. I'm like, oh, I'll go play this. I've had it sit on my drive for a while. I never played the Xbox version, and it was like, hey, you need to download like 19 gigs to play this. And it's like, well, I guess I'm doing something else tonight.
I think I have a 15 gig for the new Warzone update waiting for me, because I haven't touched Modern Warfare in like 2.5 months.
Well, they need. I think the one that needs it the most is the Switch, because the Switch is like really limited, isn't it, Katie?
Mute it again.
What's that? Yeah.
Yes.
The Switch
then
is
I mute it again.
the Switch is super limited on space. That's one of the things that kind of backs me off from doing that.
Yeah, like I literally only play Breath of the Wild, and like I did download Smite for it, but like the controller doesn't work for my play style, because I've been so used to playing Smite on like the PC. So like readjusting to a controller has just made Smite a nightmare for me. So I just stick to Breath of the Wild when it comes to my Switch.
Yeah, I only have a handful of games, and I've already started having to go, okay, what do I get rid of now that I don't play anymore?
And there's not a lot of expansion option. It's like a bigger SD card maybe, right? So
yeah, you can do the SD card. It's just a matter of finding one in my house.
There's special SD card, or do they just take any?
Any micro.
Any micro.
Okay, just the micros? Oh, okay. So I've seen a Nintendo branded one. I didn't know there was something special about them other than they got Nintendo on them. So
probably a little extra money.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely an upsell for something like that.
They're like a $500 card with no emojis that you can have engraved into it or anything.
Let's stay on the video game front for things for a moment. I thought this was fun. On the ongoing, let's get Doom to run on everything. I keep forgetting. Chilla. I've still never thrown Doom on my touch bar on my Mac, and that needs to happen. Please remind me to do that for one of these weeks. But again, in that line, I clicked something over and disappeared. Somebody put Doom on the Sega Genesis. Now Doom was on the Super Nintendo, and I think it used a Super FX chip. And Doom was on the 32X, which included an add-on. So in both cases, extra hardware had to be used to get that running on those systems. So somebody took the Linux version of Doom and got it running on basically an emulator cartridge, I guess. Let's see if I can pull this full screen. Yes, it does run. Do you want to play it is the other thing. Because as you'll see, it will be, if this video works here, it'll load up. You'll see the little, it's not full screen. Is very low frame rate. It is definitely black and white. So, if you recall, the Sega Genesis had kind of the lower spec hardware than a Super Nintendo for the era, being the first one that was released. So I could imagine it being a little difficult, but it's there and it exists, and somebody took the time to do it.
I'm pretty sure Doom runs on everything. Like, it's just, I've seen somebody run it off of a graphing calculator. Like,
yeah.
Doom just runs off whatever. It's kind of like the base tests for a computer at this point.
And also, like, it's been a great, like, can we do this kind of thing, right? You know, like, can we squeeze this game onto this? So it's like, you could pick Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein might be a little easier, right? Like, no, we got to do Doom. Listen, we got to do Doom. You know. So, but I guess the idea of killing zombies on or demons on any platform is kind of nice. So, let's see what other video game stuff we have here. This is kind of fun. I believe this is the Utah Jazz. Hey guys, basketball's coming back. Did you know that?
Are they going back in the bubble, or?
From what I understand, not in the bubble. But what? So, go ahead.
Wasn't there a first team from the NBA that just tested positive for COVID or something?
We'll see if those games actually happen, sure. But in the meantime, a lot of them did release their schedules. Well, let's just say they're tentative schedules. So this information may already be wrong. But the Utah Jazz, hope they aren't the ones that got tested. They released their schedule in the style of a 16-bit video game. So as they go through and they have their little Jazz World Note mascot with glasses on there, and as he goes through, they go through the, like, here's the Jazz versus I don't know NBA teams, the Blazers, and there's like an NBA Jam kind of setup for that. As you go through, as they announce other teams, they get into Street Fighter looking games and things like that. Yeah. Here's the Street Fighter one if you're with us on it. Nodi is the character's name, apparently. So if you want to check that out, you can check out the Utah Jazz social media. I thought that was kind of a fun way for them to kind of take the time to present it. I love the I think this is Kotaku. NBA team releases incredible video game tribute for basically no reason. Yeah.
Because we have nothing better to do.
Market department's been really bored because they should be pushing games by now, probably, right? Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing that popped up. So.
Oh, I like the cars. They're in a race.
Yeah. It's like a Road Blasters looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's super cool.
And you get in there. There's a Super Mario one. They do. I love even like one of the players is in like the clown thing for Bowser. There's a Pokemon looking one. The old school Pokemon looking one. Somebody got turned into a goat. So a lot of fun.
Oh, it makes us battling to see who's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they turned LeBron James. LeBron James is with the Lakers now, isn't he? Is that? Yep. Okay, yeah, I think they turned him into a GOAT. So, Anyways, what else you guys want to hit up here to close up the show?
Did you hear about the alternate reality roller coaster ride that's going to be put in Nintendo Land in Japan?
What is this? I keep seeing these pictures of
it's
Nintendo Land.
From what I hear, it's supposed to be set up like it's a Mario Kart roller coaster, and they give you these alternate reality glasses to wear where the roller coaster ride is like a Mario Kart race.
So kind of a roller
coaster.
Is it AR or is it VR? I thought it was going to be VR.
I heard it was going to be, from the article I kind of skimmed through, it was going to be AR because they're going to give you like glasses or some kind of helmet to wear when you're in the ride.
I have it here via VRScout.com. Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge. This is a story from back on November 30th. So real quick, yeah. I love the AR glasses are connected to a Mario hat. Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. It will get by the idea of, I don't know if I want to put something on my head that's been on somebody else's head for a while. But still, that's awesome. Man, I hope Chachi still gets his Japan trip so he can go here.
I so want to go to Japan, not even just for wrestling.
He was supposed to go this past summer. Obviously, that didn't happen. So I'm hoping that gets because I mean, if anybody needs to go to Super Mario Land, it's our boy Chachi that's got like Zelda tattoos. So, no, that's cool. That's cool. We've had that here, but there was was that a VR setup they had on the Kennywood ride, Katie?
I thought so, but I don't think it didn't last very long.
No,
because it was like
they could never get it right. They could never get it right, and I mean it's something that's already going to make you puke, and then let's throw something else on top of it that also makes you puke by itself.
Was it Sky Coaster? Was that the one?
Yeah, the new one, the Sky Coaster.
Yeah, not the Steeler one, the Sky Coaster, which the Steeler one never really got up.
Kennywood in a couple of years, so like I'm lost to be honest.
Just know there's no more log jammers, man. Log jammers? Yeah, the log jammers. They're gone. They replaced them with the Steelers roller coaster. It doesn't work. So
you're headed into dangerous territory talking about this stuff in a local podcast.
Sorry, Kennywood. Not going to happen for a while. Not going to happen. We were on the air when I said, "Oh, I got your Black Friday email." Sorry. Anyways, Katie, you had one. Katie, you had one more in here. About WhatsApp?
So the WhatsApp. A lot of small businesses are using the WhatsApp app to communicate with their customers, and something they're adding is a cart option. The very cool. I like the video that they put on this story from WhatsApp, where somebody is essentially like, "Hey, local business, I have a party tonight. What should I wear?" And the local business populates, usually probably I'm guessing by a bot, unless they have somebody just sitting there answering all these suggesting things, and then from their suggestion they can add them to the cart. Like it might be, "Hey, you should definitely wear this dress or these pants or whatever." But it's a pretty cool way for small businesses to keep connecting with their audience on social media, and skipping that additional step, just going from the conversation straight to the cart, as opposed to going to a website or somewhere else external to the conversation.
I wonder if this links in, because I know I've been getting emails about the selling things like the Facebook business page or something like that lately. I wonder if that connects with that, or is like I'm always interested in the onboarding for the business, because if you're a small business, do you have time? I'm thinking of like a small business that's like up here in the neighborhood. I was like, does she have the time to unload all the individual items that she has one or two of? For something like this? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that equals. I don't do a retail business for the most part. Look, I do a kind of retail business too, but I try to digitize that as much as possible. But for these reasons. Yeah. So I got a little bit of stock sitting in the corner of the office that drives me nuts. Drives me insane. I'm about to do like a super sale for Christmas or something to get rid of it. Because I don't think I'm going to be at a table in person anytime soon. But anyways, so Keep an eye out for that if you're listening to the other podcast. But no, I think it's kind of a cool idea. I mean, we're talking about mostly clothing. And where does this, do I see food is listed here as well?
Yeah.
So
which I think will be fun. Like I think especially if you're ordering something, I don't know, like I'm thinking of like a chocolate store. Like, ooh, yeah, what am I craving today? And if they could just like pop up their, populate their specials.
Yeah. It gets
Like, add to
dangerous.
cart, add to cart, add to cart.
It gets dangerous. I don't know too many people that live in WhatsApp unless I'm dealing with somebody internationally. So, well, be interesting to see how that rolls out. Chilla, you have to, before we have your awesome thing to show here at the end, you have to, we did tease this one item last week.
And I was super sad that I teased it, and I do want to follow up, but they're sold out. But Microsoft has released holiday ugly sweaters. They have, and don't worry, they come in a Windows 95 version, a Windows XP version, and an Microsoft Paint version. You can, earlier in the week, I saw that after they were sold out, they kind of opened back up another order, letting you know that you definitely wouldn't get them for the holidays. These all do run the price of a new Xbox, more than a new Xbox game at $70. But who wouldn't love a little bit of Microsoft nostalgia? And I know at least the MS Paint one, proceeds go to girls who code. But the sweaters are pretty awesome with either the Windows logo or the paint. The Paint one has, all the different icons from within MS Paint up and down the sleeves. Who wouldn't love one of these for the holidays? I also like how near the collar line, it says Untitled Paint, like it's a new file.
And I was on the Windows 95 one, the donation to girls who code. It looks like it's across the board for these.
Oh, it is okay. I only saw it originally in the one article that was talking about the Paint one.
I do love. Yes, again, you can't get into it or anything, but yeah, it will not arrive by December 25th. They will be available to ship by the January 29th. Oh, jeez.
And right now you can't even order.
No, you can't order.
You notice.
And I'm saying that's the notes from when they were last available.
Yeah.
So wow. Get yourself. Although I would wear this in February, because I would.
You would wear it year round. Let's face it.
Yeah, year round. Like, check me out at the beach wearing my sweater. So that's great. And one more big video game thing. We talked about this item. Man, I almost bought it. And Chilla did. And I am jelly of Chilla right now of what he has. And damn it, I'm putting it on the list. Oh, that's going on the Santa list right there. Jeez.
Let me see here. I gotta make sure I line up my fingers right. So I don't know if you can see that real well.
So tell the audio what we're looking at here.
So this is the RetroFlag GPi Case. It literally is a mocked up version of a Game Boy, but it does have a color screen, unlike the original Game Boy. You'll notice it has 4 buttons on the front, not just A and B, but you have X and Y. What it's probably harder to see too is, see these little dots on the back? Those are triggers.
Oh.
So
Nice.
you have like Super Nintendo, right? Like you had the A, B, X, Y, and the triggers. So these are your triggers, and it runs RetroPie. And the cool thing about RetroPie is you're probably, I don't know if you can tell, this would be a fun trivia game. It will scan your ROMs and look for what you're playing. So there's Super Mario Brothers 3, there's Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, and oddly enough, I'm a huge fan of the TurboGrafx 16. So like I have Splatterhouse loaded up and all the Bonks games. So I'm gonna be, so it uses the Raspberry Pi Zero. And I got the Zero W, so it supports wireless. I can map to this and just upload the ROMs right to it. And then let me see here.
Is it the RetroPie actually fits in the cartridge slot, doesn't it?
Yes, the Pi. I don't want to pull it out because if I pull it out, it will actually like shut the whole thing down.
Yeah.
But yes, the Pi Zero like fits in the upper part of the cartridge, but you can pull the cartridge out.
And it just runs on AA's, doesn't it?
It can run on AA's. I have it plugged in with the power. It's a pin to USB. It's a pin to USB, but it will run on 3 AA batteries. While I was setting it up, I will say, and I'd be interested in if anyone else has one. I don't know if you can see Mario.
Yeah, we see enough. Yeah, we can make it out.
You can make it out.
Yeah.
The 3 AA batteries lasted me like an hour and a half.
Oof.
Now I don't know if that's why, because like I was trying to mess around with things and copy files. Like that wasn't 3 hours of like playing Zelda. That was for Nintendo. That was like, or an hour and a half. That was an hour and a half of me shaking my fist trying to get the darn thing to work. Because you have no keyboard and you have no mouse and you have, once you get the thing assembled, you're stuck with just trying to get it to work. There's no on-screen keyboard. I was having a problem getting Wi-Fi configured. So there's some, you have to take the micro SD card out, put it in a computer, copy some files to it, hope they're right, fire it up, find out you failed, shut it back down.
It's the Linux. So you still had the Linux experience. Got it.
Yeah, it was a typical. And the kicker was I forgot what I did like 8 months ago on another Raspberry Pi to get it to connect. Sooner or later, I did figure it out. I was missing a curly bracket on the end of a configuration string, but which was also enough to shake my fist at.
So this is so setting this up is not for the weak of heart. If the idea of taking a Raspberry Pi and setting it up might be a little bit more than some may want to deal with, right?
So here is my point of view, and I'm thinking about actually starting back. I'm actually thinking about starting back over and writing a beginner's guide to getting the darn thing working, because I read a bunch of posts and it's definitely for someone that's at least, I would say, intermediate technical. And at the very end of their thing, it was like, but if you wouldn't have configured the video card and you wouldn't have configured this, you could have set everything up on, because inside the device there's an HDMI port. I just can't get to it. Inside of the device there's 2 USB ports. I just can't get to them.
Because that's that's not the point of the device.
Yeah. So, but if I would have taken and configured everything and done like step 3 last, I could have then just snapped it together and put it in the device. And been well on my way. But no, so it's I would just say read a bunch of articles and plan an hour or so, depending on how your home Wi-Fi is set up too. So I have not just keys, but I have a hidden SSID, which I know isn't super powerful against hackers, but it's just one more layer in the suit of protection.
So you can go check out information on that. We'll have the link in the show notes, but that's over at RetroFlag.com. And unfortunately, it is sold out on Amazon, and I think that's the only official retailer that they have for it. So
well, I got it in time then.
Yeah, it looks like you did. Looks like you slipped right under there. And they do. And again, this place has pretty cool things. They have you can get an NES case for your RetroPie, so you can make your own basically Nintendo Mini. There's a Genesis case for it, Super Nintendo, Famicom, and they have the USB controllers to like the authentic style USB controllers for Genesis and Super Nintendo. So like there's a lot of options out there. Maybe some of these are more available than that one. I don't know. I'm checking out the NES one, also currently unavailable. And this is kind of a boutique shop that I think is doing this, so they might not have a lot of stock. But Man, that is how much is that running for retail? And that I see that the pack comes with the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it does come with Raspberry Pi. It wasn't.
It was something like $80, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like $80.
It's
It wasn't. I mean,
it's
it wasn't
not-
ridiculously
Yeah.
expensive to me for what. It's cheaper than the original Game Boy, I think.
It was. I think it was $99 in $1989 for the Game Boy, and all that had was Tetris and no color. So
Oof.
But you did get the connector cable.
you got the connector cable, you got the power. No, you didn't get a power cable. I don't think. Yeah, because you had to buy a power pack
You had to
separate.
buy double. Yeah, you had to,
Yeah,
it was
Game
double
Boy
A batteries.
Batteries.
Yeah.
They didn't go wireless charging or charging its own battery till I think the SP.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think they were still. I think the Advance itself was still like no light up screen. I still love my SP. I still play that. I just pull it up, throw Tetris in, and Dr. Mario and go. It's good. It's good. So, well, on that note, bro, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
I'm so glad to be a part.
Talking video
I'm
games.
always down to talk video games.
You're gonna look for one of these retro Pi flags or retro flag pies.
My brother actually just bought one, and his is kind of modeled after the Switch.
Yeah.
But he's got a ton on his. We were playing. We were trying to play N64 earlier.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Where can people find out more about Brohemoth?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Brohemoth TFB. You should be able to find me on Twitch soon. I'm still working out the kinks for that.
Yeah. All right. We got to do some more Twitch. I think we were just talking about getting some stuff.
I
going,
was just
so-
thinking, let's do a
yeah.
Wrestlers Among Us.
Yeah. Well, actually, that came up in another chat, and maybe we need to make this happen because if anything's got to be. And also, a friend of the Wrestling Mayhem show. There, if you like RPGs, this is not so much video games, but there's a World Wrestling. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I get the name right. There is a second edition of the World Wrestling RPG game. I just shared it earlier today. I'll hopefully get the name for it. In the meantime, Dudders, Katie, where can people see what you're up to? You're sharing a lot of great things, especially for the holidays here, I know, on your social media.
Kate Marie PGH on Instagram. I've been trying to share all my local businesses that I've had some amazing interactions with. And Kate Utters on the Twitter. And Kate, I don't even know my Facebook name. Find me Facebook things.
There you go. Oh, by the way, I got the name. It's the Worldwide Wrestling RPG by Nicholas. I'm going to screw this up. It's been so many years. Paoletta. We had him on the Indie Mayhem show years ago. I just shared out some of those links. So if you like wrestling, you like RPGs, it was a lot of fun. We actually did a play session with him with some of the guys from the show. So look for Dungeons and Dragons coming back. Top Rope Tabletop. We just actually had a conversation about scheduling it. Bro, you're part of that too, of course.
Always up for an adventure.
Pro wrestlers playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And I do push the envelope a lot in that game.
Yes. Justin Idol does a little bit too. He brought props last time. Everybody came in studio, and I'm like, why are you wearing boots? Like fluffy boots. He was like, well, I didn't know how much of my body you'd see on camera. I'm like, oh, we had to separate everybody, so we couldn't do like a big everybody together thing.
Couldn't do a round table.
Yeah, we couldn't do a round table because of coronavirus, and it's when we were at least not afraid to be in the room together. So, but we're going digital again for this one. Chilla at Chilla on the Twitter. He's playing
Dr.
with his.
Chillin? Oh, sorry.
He's playing with his retro flag.
Let my retro flag fly.
There you go.
Always.
Love it. At Chilla. Thank you guys so much. Please check out everything. If you like the show, please subscribe, share the awesomeness. Thank you so much for listening. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.